Since the beginning of the pandemic, I've had a lot of questions about the role of the pandemic in mental health and suicide risk. There are a bunch of things that we know increase risk for suicide. Those include access to firearms, interpersonal violence, unemployment, feelings of isolation, burden, a bunch of other factors that have a long history of being associated with suicide risk. Many of these are on the rise with shelter at home in COVID-19 pandemic land. These include record numbers of firearm purchases, reports of interpersonal and domestic violence, reports of substance use and abuse, as well as some reports about social isolation, feelings of loneliness, and we can't forget unemployment, which is at a sort of a historic high. Now, does this mean that we are going to see a historic rise in suicide rates? Not necessarily. In fact, it's possible that we're going to see a slight decrease or no change in suicide rates in the short term. Part of the reason is because there is both empirical evidence as well as anecdotal support for the idea that during a crisis, when everybody's experiencing the same thing, there's a sense of kind of rallying together or feeling like everyone's in the same boat. And this seems to have the effect of reducing suicide risk. But in the long term, if people are losing their jobs, if they are increasingly in conflictual and violent relationships, if they have access to firearms and increased substance use, over the long term, this might increase suicide rates amongst adults. Now, with youth, it's a really interesting situation because so many of the stressors associated with suicide risk come from two sources: family and school. Now, there's been e-learning for 8 to 12 weeks, and what this means is that students have not been around physical bullying. They haven't had the experience of fear of missing out, unless, of course, the thing that you're missing out is someone else's experience of being quarantined at home. There haven't been reports that there's been an increase or a surge in online bullying, and there have been reports through places like the Crisis Text Line and other data sources to suggest that youth are experiencing a reconnection with family members during this stressful time.